How y'all doing? Tonight we're going to make one of my wife's favorite dishes. She requested this. I haven't made it in a long time, but it's a chicken fricassee, and it's a really good dish. It's like a chicken stew. It has a little Cajun twist on it, a little bit of a French twist. It's some, a bunch of different things mixed in. It's just kind of a melting pot of some different cultures, but it's basically a chicken stew. So I think it'll be pretty good. We've had it before, but it's been a long time, so I'm going to go ahead and put it together tonight. And tell you, the hardest thing about it is going to be washing dishes, because it's going to take a lot of pots and pans here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here, and it doesn't take that long to cook. It should only take about an hour and a half total. First, we're going to start by seasoning our chicken breast. We've got 5 nice chicken breasts here. Now, I will say, I think it's better, a lot of people think it's better if you use chicken thighs or a dark meat or something like that. Like I said, my wife, she likes chicken breast. A lot of people like the breast compared to the thigh and stuff like that. So it's not that big a deal. So first off, I like this adobo seasoning. You can find it usually in the Spanish section of your supermarket. It's just a really good flavor enhancer, stuff like this. So I'm going to put some of this on the chicken. Like I say, you try to dry these chicken breasts off as well as you can first. Because what we're going to do after we season these, and we'll sit for a minute, we'll just put a little sear on them. So I've got some of that adobo, I've got a little salt, a little bit of kosher salt. I'm going to sprinkle some of that on them. You don't want to put anything on here right now that's really going to burn, so to speak, before you try to just sear them in the pan. I'm going to put a little fresh cracked black pepper on these chicken breasts, just to give them a little bit of flavor, a little bit of flavor profile, a little crust there on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them over on the other side, and we'll do the same thing. Alright, now what we're going to do for our first step, we're going to brown this chicken. Just going to sear it and brown it, like I said, for a second. We're not going to cook it all the way. So I've got a pan, got a medium-high heat, got a little bit of butter, a little bit of oil in here. So we'll get that kind of hot. We'll go ahead and just put this chicken down and let it brown for a second. Hopefully I can fit it all in there. We'll see. Okay. Alright, like I said, we'll let that go about 2 or 3 minutes on that side, then I'll flip it over. Alright, the chicken's been going a minute or two. Like I said, we're not cooking this chicken here, we're just merely putting the sear on it. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it now. So it's getting that nice little bit of brownness on there. And that's good. That's what we want to see. We just want to get that cooked just to where it's like a golden brown, kind of like that, on both sides. So I'm going to let it go about probably a little bit longer on this side since the pan's cooled down a little bit. Let it go about, I guess, about 3.5 to 4 minutes on that side. Okay, now that I think this chicken's browned up enough, so nice and brown on both sides, I'm going to set it aside, put in this Pyrex. Now I've got my oven, my toaster oven, I've got it set to 200. So that will keep it right above. You want to keep all your food out of the danger zone. You want to keep it above 160 in the temperature. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in my toaster oven. Just set it 200, and it's just going to slowly cook. Okay, I've got that sitting in the toaster oven on 200. The only reason I did that, you could do all this at once, and you wouldn't have to worry about sitting long just because I'm making this video. We're going to take this pan with all these good chicken drippings and all this stuff in here. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to move to another pan just for right now. Okay, in this pan I've got about 3 tablespoons of butter and about the same amount of oil. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start my mushrooms. I've got 1 pound of sliced white mushrooms. We'll go ahead and get those in there. Leave it on that medium-high heat. I'm going to let those hang out just for a second. They'll be fine. Nothing to worry about with those. Let me get a little spatula here to move those around. So those will be doing good. We'll get those going. And then back here, you can see the smaller pot. I have 1 stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter. I believe, yeah, 1 stick, a half a cup of butter. And then I've got a half a cup of oil in here. So that leads to a whole cup of fat. And what I've done, I'm going to turn that up to about medium-high heat. And I've got a cup of flour I'm going to add to that. I'm going to start a roux. And it's going to be used for later in this dish. But like I said, I'm just trying to get some of the stuff taken care of all at once. You could do this in steps. If you wanted to, you could cook the chicken, you could set it aside, you cook these mushrooms, or like I said, you could have everything all going at once if you really wanted to, and that'd work out just fine. Okay, so I'm going to let that heat up over there just till it starts to foam just a little bit. And I'm going to sit here, I'm going to watch these mushrooms, just barely moving them around, but they're not going to burn, so we'll try to cook some of the liquid out of these mushrooms. Okay, as you can see, the butter and oil is starting to sizzle here. I'm going to go ahead and put my flour in, a cup of flour. We're going to stir this. We'll stir it in with the spatula first, just get everything kind of mixed in. And I'm not necessarily going to need this much roux, but I like to make a little bit of extra, especially when I make it in the side pot. That way I can add it to taste, to see how thick I want the end result to be. So I just think it's a good idea to have a little bit of extra roux. When you're making it like this, and you're making it on the side, you don't have to worry about it. It's already in the pan. It's going to be all be mixed in and stuff like that. So we're at a medium-high heat. Just want to get some of the lumps out, stuff like that. Now I've got my little mixer that I got at. I just bought this from Kroger. You can get these at Walmart. It's nice, great for something like this. It's just an electronic mixer and just mixes for you. I'm going to let it get going on that roux, and we'll just mix it up while we're dealing with the other vegetation. And it's really good for this sort of thing. Okay, if you would, look back at these mushrooms now, and this water is really cooking out of these mushrooms. And I didn't realize, you don't realize how much moisture is actually in a mushroom. And they are really cooking the water and stuff out of there. And the reason we're doing this is we want to concentrate that flavor in the mushrooms. And we also don't want it to water down the dish. So we'll go ahead and just keep stirring these mushrooms until we can almost get the water out. And also, I really like to take a little bit more, take the flavor up a little bit with these mushrooms. I think apple cider vinegar does very well. I've got a little bit here. I've got about a third a cup, some apple cider vinegar, and the water's still in there. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. And I'm going to stir it around, and we'll let that apple cider vinegar just reduce as this water evaporates. And I think it'll be really, really good. Alright, I went ahead and set those mushrooms on my other burner. I'm going to let those just simmer away. Now we're back to this same pan we had of chicken in. We've got all this nice bits of chicken flavor down there on the bottom. We've still got a little bit of this oil, a little bit of this butter. I'm going to start dealing with some of the other vegetables for the dish. I've got about 2 cups. I've got celery, bell pepper, and onion, about equal parts, which is like the Trinity. And then I've also got some carrot chopped up in here. And you can actually get this stuff frozen at your grocery store. Some of it, I forgot what brand I get. I used to just get the store brand here, but it just makes it a little bit easier so you don't have to chop so much stuff. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put this in here. I've got this on about a medium-high heat too. And I'm going to start just sweating these vegetables. Let those cook a little bit while the mushrooms get ready. So go ahead and just move this stuff around. And I'll let these thaw out, and these just start sweating, just get a little bit translucent, because we're going to put them in the dish here in a little bit. Alright, now that these vegetables are starting to kind of turn a little translucent here, starting to cook, got a couple more things we'll add to them. I've got a little bit of thyme. I've got some Slap Your Mom seasoning, some black pepper. Probably got about half a teaspoon or so of each, and I'm going to put that in there just to bring out the flavor a little bit. Add a little bit of heat to the dish. A little bit of seasoning. Also, I'm going to go ahead and add some green onions. We've got one little bunch of green onions I had chopped up. Just mix that on in. It's smelling really, really good right now. You really smell flavors coming out with these vegetables and thyme and everything else. I also got some garlic over here, but I'm not going to put that in quite yet because I just really don't want it to burn. So I'm going to stir this just a little bit, and I'm going to kind of cut my heat down on it while I wait on these mushrooms. We'll check on those. You'll see these mushrooms, they're still got quite a bit of liquid in them we just need to cook off. Okay, so my mushrooms have reduced almost all that water out of there. Looking beautiful, beautiful, just golden. So I'm going to take these off the heat and set them aside. Now I've got that chicken out of the oven. I've got a Dutch oven out here. And I'm just going to set the chicken in it, right on the bottom. Okay. Make sure that chicken's still not cooked all the way. That's good. That's what we want. We don't want this chicken all the way cooked at this point. Okay. Now I'm going to pour any juice that we had remaining in there. Okay. Now we're going to tend back to these vegetables here. Okay. Go ahead and see if I can get you zoomed in here a little bit better. Now I've got these back on this medium heat. Stir these just a little bit more. And they're really pretty much cooked the way I want them. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to take this roux. Go ahead and turn my little roux guy off. I'm about ready for it. Now I'm going to put some of this roux in here with the vegetables. So I'm going to stir around good with my spatula. Okay. I'm going to put about 3/4 of it in there. Okay. I'm going to stir it around with those vegetables. And watch, it's going to get thick quick. See, it's starting to thicken up because it's mixing with this water, these vegetables like that, so you're almost getting like a dough consistency. So what you want to do at this point, you'll start adding other liquids for the recipe. In fact, I think we can take all this roux. Okay, so go ahead and add it all the flour, everything. And you got to be careful with that roux. You don't want to get on you. They don't call it Cajun napalm for nothing. Stuff is some serious heat. It's like 350 degrees, and it will not come off. Okay, so we've got this mixed up. I've got 2 cups of chicken broth. And pour that in there. Just use any kind of chicken broth you want. Get out of the can. Pour it and stir that in a little bit. Okay. And don't worry if you get a little bit of clumps. It's going to mix in as soon as it's just got to come to temperature. Okay. I've got a cup of white wine. Just a glass. It's going to be really good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my heat up a little bit to about medium high, and I'm going to bring this to a simmer or a slight boil. Okay, now that I've heated it up, it's starting to simmer a little bit, I'm going to turn it back down. You can see it's getting really, really thick. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a cup of cream, heavy whipping cream. I'll add that too. And a little more. I'm also going to add this about a tablespoon of garlic I have. So you go ahead and add it here with all the liquid, and that way there's no way for it to burn. We'll stir this all in. Like I say, if it ends up that you think this is too thick, don't worry about it, because we're going to pour it in there, we're going to cook it some more with that chicken, and that chicken's going to let out a lot of juice. It'll let out its broth and everything like that, and it's going to thin this back out. So don't worry, this is about the consistency that you want now, like a cream of chicken soup or something like that. Okay? Now next, go ahead and I'm going to add these mushrooms into this mixture. Okay? Some nice mushrooms. Wow, they look great. Add that in, we'll get this stirred around. And it is just wonderful, velvety stuff here. You can tell it's just nice and creamy. It's good color to it, and it's going to get darker. It's going to get a darker color with that chicken mixing in there. So I'm going to go ahead and stir this on in, and I'll come right back to you. Okay, I tasted it. Now I decided I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper. Okay, black, because that cream is just so mild. I'm going to add a little bit more of this kosher salt. Okay. Just a couple of pinches. Alright. I'm going to stir this up. Bring all that together. Wow, it just looks great. I'm going to go ahead and get it ready to put here in my Dutch oven with the chicken. So I've got all those chicken breasts here in the Dutch oven. I've got my oven heated to 325, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and get this in here and just pour it right on top of that chicken. Okay, this whole mixture. And bury that chicken in there. Okay. Try not to make too big of a mess here. You know, I've dirty every pan in the kitchen. So I've got that in my Dutch oven. Got my chicken covered with this wonderful cream sauce. I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to put it in the oven on 325 for 45 minutes. And then we're going to check it. I'm not going to take it out till 45 minutes is up. Alright, it's been 45 minutes. I just took this out. Let's take a look at it. Wow, that looks great. Get that nice bubbling away. All that chicken. And see, I told you it would thin out. But it's still, I mean, just a perfect consistency. Let's see if I can zoom in here a little bit for you and really see what it looks like. I mean, because it looks so good. Got that nice yellow color to it. You see still all the cream. Now what you want to do is you want to take your chicken actually out and set it in a bowl over here on the side. Okay, just make sure you get all your vegetables and stuff off of it. Because what we're going to do, and this is kind of optional, but I like to shred my chicken up and put it back in there. But I've let it slow cook here in the fricassee sauce. So I'm going to go ahead and get these chicken breasts down. And I'm going to put the lid back on here. I'm going to stir this up, get everything all mixed up in there, and take some forks. I'm going to shred this chicken up. So I've got the chicken out, so all the chicken. Go ahead and just stir this up a little bit. Just get everything really nicely mixed in there. Wow, it looks so good. I'm going to go ahead, put my lid back on, but leave it. There's plenty of residual heat in that pot. Now I'm going ahead and start some rice over here. While I put that rice, I'm going to pull that chicken apart. Okay, to pull this chicken apart, I'll just take 2 forks like this. You just get in here and pull it apart, just like, you know, if you're making the chicken salad or something like that. I just think it's looks a lot nicer, a lot easier to get mixed in with everything if you just pull it apart. Then again, like I said, you don't have to do this. I like to just shred my chicken a little bit, and as soon as I get it shredded, I'm going to put it back in there with the sauce. But this doesn't take long. I just think it adds a lot of flavor. Okay, now I got my chicken all shredded up. And one thing I forgot to say earlier, you want to make sure you let this chicken sit for about 10 minutes before you shred it, because you don't want to shred it when it's real hot, because all the juice will come out of it. So go ahead and put this chicken back in the sauce. Wow, it smells so good. And I tasted this chicken. It is still really juicy and it has a really good flavor to it. I'm going to keep this aside so I can put some of the leftovers in if we have it. So go ahead and just mix this on in. Whew, and I'll tell you, this cast iron really holds in the heat, and this is plenty hot. Okay, so just go ahead and mix that on in. Everything incorporated. Right now I've just got about 7 minutes left on my rice. As soon as my rice is done, I'm going to spoon some of this out right over and it's going to be great. Okay, now that I got my rice ready, wow, that fricassee is all ready. Go ahead and plate some of this up. Just serve it right here over some rice, or right beside some rice. Wow, it is really tasty. I taste it so creamy. It's got so much chickeny flavor in it. And taste those vegetables. Now, if you don't like it this thick, you don't have to add as much roux. And you can also add a little bit of water to it, or stock. Like I said, I added a full cup of roux, which is a cup of flour and a cup of oil. You could do half of that, half a cup of flour, half a cup of oil, and just add that much roux. But it's really wonderful. And I also like to top it with a little bit of green onions. Always helps. And it's really, really good. I hope you can try this recipe and I hope you enjoy it.